Hello my dears and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon and today I've got another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys. And today we are talking about 1 in 4 by Lucinda Berry. Now, I've never read anything by Lucinda Berry before, but I'm a member of a bunch of groups, like book groups on Facebook. And I've seen a lot of people talking about her before, like I think The Perfect Child, Saving Noah, things like that. I know people had a lot of strong opinions about those books. So when I saw this pop up on NetGalley, I was like, okay, let's go for it. So this video I think is going to be really short because there's not a lot I can say without spoiling things. So we're just going to keep it brief and keep it moving. So here we have the story of how the story's pitched is there's a reality show being filmed in a fancy house in California. And the premise of the show is a bunch of former child stars who are addicts are brought to this house to get sober. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. It kind of reminds me of that show from back in like the 2000s. I can't remember I guess maybe Celebrity Rehab? Was that what it was called? So the premise kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, okay, I never loved that show because it seemed so exploitative. But a book, I was like, okay, let's read it. Anyway, so we meet our main character and her name is Laurel. And she's one of the main psychologist that's working for the show. And she's dealing with the patients. And she's talking to them every single day and working with them. And she's, she cares about them a lot. And she's developing close relationships with them. And then one day, one of the stars, the reality stars, a young girl named Maddie, she ends up dead. And from there it becomes trying to figure out who did it, what happened to Maddie, and so basically the story's told to us from a couple different points of view. We have Laurel's point of view as she's trying to figure out like what happened to Maddie, who's involved, and she starts to get kind of tied up in the investigation and she's worried that she's a suspect. So she's trying to not only figure out who did it, but figure out a way to clear her own name. Okay. Then we get another point of view that you kind of think might be Maddie's point of view. It's the point of view of a young girl who's going through a really difficult time. Because what we know about Maddie is she's 19 and she's kind of the only one of these child stars that isn't washed up. She's still relevant. So that kind of sets her apart from the rest of them. So we're getting this point of view. And we're not told whose point of view it's from. But at first, you think it's Maddie. But as time goes on, you realize there's a few different options for whose past point of view this could be. So then about halfway through the book, things switch gears. And it becomes a completely different story. Not in a bad way. I still, I enjoyed this book a lot. It's dark, it's a thriller. I'd say a psychological thriller, but it's definitely darker than some thrillers go. And the ending, there's so much I wish I could say, but when I got to that ending, so the book ends, that alone, I was like, wow. You don't often see a choice that was made in this book made. I feel like if this is any indication, I would guess that Lucinda Berry maybe makes a lot of bold choices in her books. If this book's any indication at all. And then we get this epilogue. And the epilogue, by the time I was done that, I was like, holy shit. I loved it. Now, I will say there are some, there are times when you're like, this is not believable at all. And there were a couple things that I noticed that may be plot holes. But if you can suspend your disbelief and just go for the ride, I loved it. I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. And we'll definitely read from Lucinda in the future. I look forward to going back and seeing what else she's written. And I like how I said, if this is any indication, it feels like she takes some risks in her writing, maybe, makes some bold choices, maybe does some controversial things. I like that a lot. I would say check the trigger warnings before you read it if you're sensitive to sexual assault if that's something you don't like to read about. There's not a lot of graphic scenes of sexual assault, but there's a lot of talk about sexual assault. Because the title, 1 in 4, that actually refers to the statistics of, 1 in 4 women will be assaulted. So check the trigger warnings if that's something you're sensitive to. But I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I could see though some people really not liking it too, but I loved it. And yeah, 4 stars for me. And that's all I'm going to be able to say on the matter for now. Maybe once the book comes out, we can have a chat about some of the spoilers, but I'm going to go now. And I'm actually going to start filming a vlog that's going to come out probably Sunday. I'm going to be reading the new John Mars book in the vlog, because that is this month's book club selection for my members only book club, which you can join if you want to become a channel member and support me there, and you can join the book club. Might be a bit too late for this month, but next month. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.